Okay, this is going to be part two of our Zoom call for tonight on chapter five, or 5 and 6 of Get Over Your Damn Self. I got started about 10 minutes late on the first one, and I ran out of time by about 10 minutes. So you'll see two Zooms posted, part one and part two. I'm sorry about that. Um, I have lots to say in this chapter. It's hard to cover it all. And if you weren't on the first one, I am sharing my screen because I have the digital version, the Kindle version of the book. And so these are my highlighted notes. And so we ended the last one talking about three-way calls and how to set that up with your upline. You need to tell them the prospect's name, where she lives, how you know her, what she does for a living or did do, why you think she'd be good, what's attracting her to the business from your first conversation. Is she somebody that's driven and hardworking, and what her other strengths are, and any concerns or objections that she's already raised. So this is really important to share so that when your three-way gets on the call, they have clear goals and they know whether you're aiming to enroll her as an ambassador or to book a follow-up appointment or to ask for referrals and enroll them as a customer. So let's talk about the call itself, okay? Because these are so important that you do them right, all right? So you need to give a short introduction once you, and remember, you connect with your prospect first, and then you pull in your upline. And you need to introduce her, your prospect. Again, say how you know each other, why you think she'd be great at this, and what's in it for her. And that should take less than a minute. So this is just kind of a script, as if the writer was your upline, okay? So you would start it by saying, Romy, I wanted to introduce you to my friend Jane. Then you tell her how you know Jane and give an authentic compliment of Jane. Jane and I used to work together at a hospital in Chicago, and she's one of the most outgoing and magnetic people I know. She's open to the idea of earning some extra money, but said she doesn't want to bite off more than she can chew. So I'm really excited for her to learn more about our company and how this could fit into your life. And that's when you briefly add the specifics that why you want to work with your prospect. And then you say, Jane, I'm thrilled you get the chance to talk with my friend Romy. She'll give you her perspective and answer any questions you have. And Romy, I'll let you take it from here. The biggest mistake that I have with my downline in doing three-way calls is that they ask me to do the three-way call, but then they're jumping into the conversation. So stop talking once you have introduced your upline and say, I'm going to let you take it. Zip it. Don't say anything else. If your upline wants you to say something, then she's going to ask you. But it's very important for the upline to quickly set the tone of the call at the beginning and take the pressure off of the prospect so they can move to hearing what she's having to say, okay? So the upline would say, if you're the upline for your downline, you're going to say, I remember being in your shoes, Jane, and I wasn't sure of what to expect on a call like this, but I want you to know that I'm not in the business of trying to convince anyone to start a business of their own. It's just my job to share my experience and answer questions you may have to see if it's a good fit for you. Does that sound good? You put that person totally at ease, because I think the reason that most prospects are resistant to a three-way call is they think, oh my gosh, they're ganging up on me. And it's just going to be awkward and uncomfortable. So, put them at ease from the very, very beginning. So if you're the upline, after you've, said, does that sound good? Then you just share your own story, making sure that you highlight any things that you have in common or that she can relate to. And then you just ask her, what attracted you to the business? What are you intrigued about about the business, and that's going to draw out her why. Okay, so then whatever she says about what attracted her to the business is going to help you as the upliner. It's going to help me to answer her upcoming questions and then replay them back to her when I ask her to make a decision. Okay, so the upline is briefly going to share the facts of the business, emphasis on briefly, and this is where you're going to not just be sharing opinions, but you're going to list inarguable facts about your company, like Plexus is debt free. This is our 10th anniversary. We are backed by Morgan Stanley. Those kinds of things that can't be disputed. Our growth, those kinds of things. Okay, and you can do the same thing about the clinical studies on products and those types of things. So once you've done that, you're going to turn the conversation back to the prospect and said, I've shared a lot of information, Jane. What questions do you have? And that should be the longest part of the call, because you're going to be answering those questions about how we do it and how she could do it too, and just overcoming objections. And once that's been done, you just have to gauge what's the best time to ask her to make a decision. So that might sound like, okay, Jane, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, and I love that 1 to 10. That's another thing that I've gotten from Bob Heilig. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1, you are ready to hang up the phone and run, and 10, that you'd like to get started today. Where are you? And if she says, oh, I'm a 3, anywhere between a 1 and a 4, then you're going to respond, this business doesn't sound like a good fit for you. And then you're going to immediately move the conversation to talking about being a customer and getting referrals. If she says, I think I'm about a 6 or 7, then the answer to that is just to say, so it sounds like you still have some questions that you need to get more comfortable. What can I help you answer? Very easy. And then you answer those questions. If she says she's at an 8 or a 9, then I'm going to know that it's likely that she's going to decide that to join our business, whether it's today or not. Okay. If she is ready to enroll, then just simply tell her how to get started. And again, don't send her to your website alone. If I'm, doing a downline call, a 3-way call, I'm going to say, okay, Jane, Heidi's going to take you to her website and she's going to walk you through the sign up, and we'll get that taken care of. If they don't have time to do it right then, again, work from appointment to appointment, schedule it right then, a time later today or tomorrow to do that enrollment. Okay. So we all know that people don't usually sign up, immediately. It'd be nice if they did, but they don't, even if they're at a 9 or a 10. So they may say that I need to talk to my husband, or a number of different things. And that's okay. You just want to be ready with the next step that's going to keep moving her through that funnel, and for you to control the timeline. So if they say they need to talk to the husband, I did a video, I don't know, a week or so ago about validating a person's objections. So if she says she needs to talk to her husband, validate that and say, of course you need to discuss it with your husband. I know he's going to probably have questions too. So let me know if I can help. I talk to husbands all the time. Can you talk with him tonight? And then again, book that follow-up appointment, inviting the husband as well, for no later than 48 hours. This 24 to 48 hour time frame as you move from appointment to appointment is so, so, so important. So again, if you wait any longer than that, you're likely to lose them. And y'all, I think we've all experienced that, where people got cold feet. They talked to their cousin's aunt, sister who hates MLMs or whatever. Okay. So if you get to that point where they're not interested in the business, then you want to enroll them as a customer. And that easy script for that is just to say, I totally understand if the business isn't for you. It isn't for everyone, but the products that we have are for everyone. And I'd be honored to have you as a customer. And you just redirect the conversation to starting to talk about the products instead of starting with the products as I used to do. Okay. And then always remember to ask the referral. You may know some person that I can help. Here's what I'm looking for. And then you're going to list those descriptions, always describing that person that you're talking to as the first one. So if the call does run too long, like my Zoom just did, um, and those calls shouldn't be more than 15 to 25 minutes. But if it starts to run long, you can always reschedule, okay? But here are 3 reasons why a 3-way call can go bad. You overwhelm them because it goes too long. It's not duplicatable for busy people who have 30 to 45-minute calls through the day to work their biz. And it's not possible for your upline leader to fit in that many calls that are that long all through the week. So in general, everything needs to be said everything that needs to be said can be accomplished in 15 to 25 minutes. Don't make it any longer than that. If for some reason it has to be, just schedule another call. And if you have your upline doing a 3-way for you, it's your job to watch the clock and to make sure that it doesn't go any longer than that. So if it does look like it's going any longer than that, you can just say, hey, Vicki, I know you've got to go. So why don't you take one more question, and then we can always schedule a time to continue the conversation later today. Real simple, okay? Another reason that they go wrong is that the business partner doesn't set up the call correctly. So it's really important for you to teach your team how to do a 3-way call where they plug in the prospect first and then they plug you in so that everybody's there. And I really advise you, if you're working with one of your new downline, to do a practice run on this before you get on the phone with them. And the other thing that can go wrong from the upline's perspective is that they didn't do fact finding at the beginning. You've got to take the time to ask the prospect about their life, about the business, or you miss out on valuable information. So always allow them to tell you about their life and their pain points so that you can demonstrate that people just like them are having that kind of success. So, if they're like, I just don't think I have the time to do it, it's always great for the I feel, felt, found method. I felt the same way when I started, but what I found was that I could stay up an hour later. I could do it in the nicks and crannies, whatever. Okay, so she says that anyone that she's ever done a 3-way call with knows that she says this. So, prospect, my friend gave you a great intro, but I'd like to hear a bit more about you and your life and what it is about our business that's intriguing you the most. I always do that. When I get on a 3-way call with someone's downline, I always say, I tell them, hey, I'm Vicki, and I've been with Plexus for 4 years, just a brief bit about me. And then I say, tell me more about you, okay? And why you might be interested in doing this. It's very, very simple. And then again, guide them to making the decision. And, you've had this 3-way with your downline or you're having one. And it's just real easy to transition the conversation. And if she's not ready to make a decision, to just loop that back around. That's why it's so important to listen. So a sample script would be, Jane, I think this could be a great fit for you. Again, this is you as the upline saying this. I think this could be a great fit for you. You want to find a way to take fewer consulting gigs so you can spend more time with your kids and to really insulate yourself from down markets. Since it sounds like you'd be able to squeeze this business in around everything else on your plate, you love people and you like the idea of helping others succeed, this could work really well for you. Do you agree? So do you see how she took information that she had gotten from listening to the prospect about what intrigued her about her life, and then she replayed it to her in a very positive way, saying, I think that this could really work for you. Do you agree? Always end with the question, okay? So, and then you just tell her our next step is to tell you how you can get started. Does that sound good? It's very easy. Okay. So if she's still not ready, you might decide to do one of these things. As I said, ask her where she's at on that scale. And you might ask her if she's hesitating. Just ask her, be comfortable with saying, what is the root of your hesitation? Okay. And we can get a lot of information that way. All right. And there's going to be more information on that later in the book. Um, if it's about MLM and about the business model, you could say, is it because you don't fully understand how it works or because you're worried about what others will think? That is a really, really good question to ask because you're going to help her to figure out what the root of her hesitation is, okay? And then just be honest with her. You know, she says, I'm kind of worried about what people are going to think. Just say, some people may think you're crazy because you're doing this, but here's the important question. Why do you care? You're the one that's trying to juggle your demanding job and your family and still not feeling like you have enough money to get ahead. There will be people who don't support your business, but this decision isn't about them. It's about you and what you want. The best way to handle lack of self-confidence is to assure them of the support that they're going to get and tell them other success stories of people that are like them. But always be honest with the prospects that doubt themselves and just tell them that ultimately you've got to be willing to believe that you deserve to have more. And nobody can do that for you. It's got to come from you. You've got to be willing to believe that you deserve more than whatever their pain point is. Another thing you could ask is the plan B. Again, replay her why, and then simply say, if you're not going to accomplish that through this business, then what's your plan B to achieve that? And then another thing is to talk about worst case scenarios. So here's a great script for that. Okay, Jane, let's talk about the worst case scenario for you. It's not like you're about to invest $500,000 to open a franchise. The worst thing that could happen, and in our case, we're going to say, is that you will invest $34.95 and you're going to get wholesale pricing and you're going to earn your investment back if you just do a little bit of work besides having the tax deductions that come with a home business, and you just might have some fun. So you just kind of diffuse that worst case scenario, okay? So, you know, I think if we all just really practice this, we will improve our skills about bringing people to the point of making a decision so much more quickly. And I think that many people, most people maybe, feel like asking people to make a decision is being pushy, but it's not. It's professional, it's efficient, and it helps. And it's helpful exactly to what exactly what you and your prospects deserve. Okay. You've got a gift to share. You have to believe that in your heart. And you're looking for people who want to have what you have to offer. That's not being pushy. It's not being salesy. Okay. Okay. That wraps up chapter 6. Unfortunately, this didn't work out so that we could have some interactive conversation about it. But I would really love in the comments below for you guys to just comment about, if there are things that were takeaways for you that I didn't cover. I pretty much covered everything. But if there is anything, please share that with everybody else. Share your own experiences about going through this, maybe about how well three-way calls have worked for you with your upline, or you as an upline doing them for your downline. Kind of share your experiences with all of us. Just tell me if you feel the way that I do, that this is so doable and this approach is the most comfortable of anything that I've ever read. So that's all I've got. I hope to see some comments below. All right. Sorry that it had to be in 2 different pieces, y'all. Let me figure out how to get out of here. Oops. Okay, I still can't figure out how to get out of it. Y'all bear with me. Okay, there it is.